this is nothing. This is not a joking matter. I take this very serious because I look at this like, if we don't nip this in the butt now, years down the line, we're gonna have a serious problem. And it's an injustice. We're being targeted as minorities, and our livelihood is being attacked. So to be honest with you, I take this serious. Like, I don't even want to sit up here and play around with this shit like it's a joke. You know what I mean? Because it's brothers that's fighting for their lives, and they're being they're not getting a fair day in court at all. From the door, when you're using someone's lyrics, you know what I'm saying, against them in court, it's just a terrible injustice.
Perfectly, Pap. As we speak right now, Young Thug's lyrics are being played in court. It hasn't been determined if he's actually talking about the crimes that he's been accused of.
So I do want to add that within this bill, we're not saying that, if someone is foolish enough to rap about a crime and then commit the crime, that, they didn't put themselves in a bad predicament, and then whatever happens after that needs to happen. We're not saying that. We're saying that we don't want harmless lyrics, creativity. We don't want our craft, our livelihood to be under attack in the way where it's used against us. If someone is doing that, they need to be held accountable. We're just saying we got to protect hip hop, man. This is our way of life, and I'm tired of sitting around watching people bash and blame hip hop for something that existed in America before hip hop was even born. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip hop. You tell me if the Al Capone era and the crime era is younger than hip hop. No.
Late Tuesday evening, drill rappers met with Mayor Eric Adams, who's been critical of their music, saying it's causing a spike in violence. But Brooklyn rapper Bleezy says the meeting was productive.
And we got a chance to speak to him as brothers, as we should, and we got a perfect understanding of what's going on.
Drill rap came under renewed scrutiny after 18-year-old artist Jaquan McKinley's murder earlier this month, leading Mayor Adams to call for the music's removal from social media.
Violent people who are using drill rapping to post who they killed and then antagonize the people who they are going to kill is what the problem is.
People look at the videos or listen to the lyrics and stuff, it's going to be characterized as, talking about guns, talking about money, talking about...
But that's just a music period in every genre.
While Bleezy admits some artists go too far.
If you ain't experienced poverty, you shouldn't even have your opinion on anybody's moment.
Bleezy says he focuses on the hardships in Brownsville, adding addressing the real root of violence goes well beyond any lyrics.
The community is like, it's like, there's no hope, there's no opportunities. No, we just making music so we could get out of these places.
The meeting with Mayor Adams ended with a handshake. The mayor said that a new initiative in partnership with the rappers will be rolled out in a few days.
Hip-hop has always been a tool used to express one's frustration about poverty or circumstances that surrounds their environment by using freedom of expression. The term real recognize real has always been identified in hip-hop as a way to separate realism in hip-hop from the gimmicky style of rap. But when artists tend to keep it too real in interviews and on records, this leaves a gateway for authorities to look into it to see if it's fabricated or is it authentic. Many gangster rap artists have always fabricated their lyrics to portray an image to the public as if they were the toughest with street cred, but very few actually live out what they rapped about. In the early 70s, hip-hop was a conduit for all artists to express themselves freely with fun, witty, and rhythmic lyricism. It wasn't until the early 90s where gangster rap would take a violent but influential turn. In 1992, Bay Area rapper Mac Dre began making a name for himself in the West Coast hip-hop scene. Mac Dre would record a list of EPs that would eventually gain him notoriety with his unique style and delivery. During the early 90s in Vallejo, California, a string of bank robberies began to take place in the area. Artist Mac Dre said he wanted to, quote, wake up the neighbors as a way to bring awareness to the issue. As the hip-hop scene began to grow in Vallejo, California, police officers started to take notice in local rappers around the area that was quoting the string of robberies in their lyrics.
Stop. I can't take no more. Why is the police steady knocking at my door 24/7? The devils be tripping. They say some banks was robbed and I fit the description, but that's drama. So save it for your mama. I'm not criminal-minded punk police. I'm a rhyme dealer, not a money stealer. Was real in 91, but now I'm much realer. On the streets you roam, trying to follow.
On March 26, 1992, rapper Mac Dre was invited to a show in Fresno, California. While there, he was approached by undercover FBI agents. The FBI agents subsequently approached him and asked rapper Mac Dre about the robberies. He denied any involvement, and the police eventually arrested him with conspiracy to commit robbery due to the gun found in his apartment.
Kari, why don't you give us a little insight on what's going on with Mac Dre and the whole controversial set?
As everybody knows, March 25th, 1992, Mac Dre was arrested for attempted bank robbery and conspiracy to commit bank robbery in Fresno, California by the FBI, Fresno Police, and Vallejo Police Department. At this point in time, he's still locked down in Fresno County Jail with no bail. We just got through recording a brand new maxi single from Fresno County Jail, which will be out July the 7th on the streets. Mac Dre, Back in the Hood, live from Fresno County Jail. That put aside, essentially what happened, man, is in our opinion, Mac Dre was arrested because of a song he wrote called Punk Police, which is contained on his new EP, What's Really Going On. He went down to Fresno, as I had mentioned before when I was on this show, to do a concert with Ice Cube. He performed with Ice Cube 2 weeks prior to him being arrested. After performing with Ice Cube, he was arrested. He went back down to Fresno 2 weeks after performing with Ice Cube just for a social visit to kick it with some people and everything. And the Vallejo Police Department followed him all the way from Vallejo to Fresno. And this was on the March the 24th. On the 25th, after running around Fresno all day long, now check this out. Okay, I'm Mac Dre, hypothetically speaking. Here I am with a t-shirt on that says Mac Dre, right? So all day long on the 24th, I'm running around Fresno, going to malls, going to restaurants, kicking it. You see what I'm saying? Going in my hotel and everything with his t-shirt that says Mac Dre. Mac Dre is extremely popular in Fresno as he is here in the Bay Area, so everybody knows who he is. Plus he's running around with a t-shirt that says Mac Dre on. He in the mall signing autographs and all this kind of thing. The very next day, two of his partners get up that morning and they go to go for a ride, right? It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. This is according to the police department. They go for a ride. While they're going for a ride, they ride past the bank, according to the police department. Hold on, what's up?
Oh, you can go ahead. We're gonna go to the video soon, but I want you to go ahead and finish up.
The district attorney of his case found the lyrics to his song and used them in trial, Punk Police. After further investigation, rapper Mac Dre was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Death Row Records was on the rise in the year of 1995. The following year, rapper Snoop Dogg was considered a threat to society and was held on contempt by his actions and also his lyrics.
Career ender, especially for celebrities, but not in the case of the rap singer who calls himself, quote, Snoop Doggy Dogg. A judge in Los Angeles refused today to drop murder charges against him, but the charges haven't hurt his career. In fact, some accuse the rapper of making crime pay, as Reed Galen reports in tonight's Eye on America.
As Calvin Broadus leaves the court where he has just appeared on murder charges, little kids clamor for his autograph. They know him as rapper Snoop Doggy Dogg.
I'm just an inspiration. You look to me as inspiration
A chilling thought to critics of music rife with violence and to the family of the victim.
My brother has become just a nameless, faceless commodity in the interest of record companies profiting from his blood.
Murder was the case that they gave me. I'm innocent.
For almost 2 years, Snoop has been out on $1 million bail paid by Death Row Records, which has sold $80 million worth of Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Whatever it takes to sell records, it's good.
Murder sells. That's why people do videos on sex and murder.
These criminal charges against you, somebody could see that as good publicity.
Not necessarily, because I'm not happy that someone ended up dead and I got to go to court for this and people thinking I'm some killer.
Snoop must convince a jury he's not the gangster in his music. But in fact, if that kind of image hurts sales, there wouldn't be many rap stars left. Tupac Shakur.
And we got a new album out called Thug Life.
Shot 5 times while on trial for sexual assault, he's in prison now disavowing the gangster life. Dr. Dre, convicted of assault. Flavor Flav, jailed for shooting at a neighbor.
They're just part of a community where these things are going on. You can't go around carrying guns. No one tells these kids that. They're living the lives that they've grown up in, and it's like no one is changing them. All the record companies are interested in, for the most part, is making money.
You really can't say you ain't never seen nobody just get shot in the head, pow, and you right there watching it. You can't say that, but I can. You understand what I'm saying? And that affects me, you know what I'm saying, through my life.
Murder was the case, says the prosecutor, on a summer night in 1993.
This would be appropriately characterized as a gang-motivated type killing.
It happened in this Los Angeles park. Snoop's bodyguard shot and killed 24-year-old Philip Waldemariam. Snoop didn't pull the trigger, but he, the bodyguard, and a third man were all charged with murder because prosecutors say they hunted down Waldemariam after an earlier argument. Snoop's attorney claims self-defense and says the DA has an agenda.
That terrible music is going to get out into the public. That's why he's prosecuting this man.
Snoop Doggy Dogg was 21, already well known when the killing happened. But success doesn't necessarily mean escaping the life, says another rap star recently acquitted of murder.
You might have somebody that grew up gang banging and he made it, but he still got that in him. No matter what, he would carry that. It's like a jacket.
Calvin Broadus goes on trial this summer, claiming the case is political.
Look at the people before me that was black and successful and powerful with words. Where they at now? Where Martin Luther King? Where Malcolm X?
He's made millions since the killing. MTV will cover his trial live and could make millions more. All of which makes the Waldemariams, who immigrated from Ethiopia, wonder if the death of a son and brother was just a marketing opportunity.
We are completely surprised about the justice system in this country, really.
A jury will decide if murder was the case and whether image is truth or a bum rap. In Los Angeles, Reed Galen for Eye on America.
At this time, the FCC had ruled gangster music a threat to society's way of thinking, and parental advisory stickers were issued to all hip-hop artists that were promoting violence and sex through their lyrics. Rapper Snoop Dogg was held on trial for the first-degree murder of Philip Waldemariam, who was killed by Snoop Dogg's bodyguard at the time. His song, Murder Was the Case, was used during his trial, and many listeners of Snoop gave him a pass due to his recognition. As gangster rap began to become more realistic, fans started to realize street credibility was needed when it came to album sales, and allowed the police to pay very close attention. The art of expression, or freedom of speech, has always been a part of our constitutional rights, no matter how much or negative an artist's lyrics actually was. With artists such as Big L basically breaking down what ebonics was, this gave the authorities a way to figure out what these terms were.
My weed smoke is my key, a coke is a pie. When I'm lifted, I'm high.
Louisiana artist Lil Boosie was also a victim of creative expression being used against him in court. In his song 187, Boosie stated, "Any nigga who ever tried to play me, they dead now."
It was crazy, man. They had a whole day of playing my music. The whole day, we had a whole day in court of them playing my music, translating my music. How you gonna translate a rap song that got so much slang in it and you don't even listen to rap music? You know, they were saying my words and they were all wrong. They twisted my words to what they wanted them to say.
These lyrics were used against him in court in his first-degree murder trial, which he was facing death row on. Although Judge Mike Erwin ruled that the slang was only allowed to prosecute the defendant. With the emergence of drill rap and artists now putting dead rivals in their songs, this left the lane for almost too much truth being spoken in songs.
Yo, homie dead. Yo, homie dead. Most of theirs got hit in the head. On phone, if you want me, come get me. There's none to get up with me. I'll move that same.
Artists like Bobby Shmurda gave the authorities a way to convict them through their songs. With name dropping being heavily popularized, detectives not only knew who to look for, but now what to look for also.
Like I told Tish, I see when I shot, nigga. Like you seen him twirl, then he drop, nigga. We keep the mind millies on my block, nigga. And Monte keep it on him, he done drop, nigga. Tones known to get busy with them Glocks, nigga. Bitch, caught about a week ago. Us in there, we tweaking, ho. Twin up on that, get the squeezing, ho. Everybody catching bullet hoes. Got me on my.
Draco the Ruler was indicted in 2016 on numerous felony charges. Prosecutors knew he had nothing to do with Davion Gregory being killed, but detectives had obtained an audio recording linked to Draco's rap crew, the Stink Team.
Violent, he's this, he's that, all based off of bits and pieces from your song.
Bits and pieces, like, and shit that they don't really even understand in the first place. They use their own interpretations of what they think something means, or like, because a lot of people don't know what I'll be talking about. Half the time, I don't know what I'll be talking about.
Right.
So it's like weird in court where you trying to tell me what I mean, like,
right.
It's just weird.
Well, and on top of that, they were saying the Stink Team was a gang.
Yeah.
You were the leader.
I was the leader because of my name,
right.
The Ruler.
And in California, if you're a gang member, you can be charged for crimes that other members did.
Other people do.
So whatever the Stink Team did
in
their own personal life could ultimately be put on you because you're the quote-unquote leader of this violent gang.
Even if I wasn't there, but that would be penal code 182.5.
Right.
Criminal street gang conspiracy, which they don't even charge people with, but they had decided to charge me with.
Artists such as Tekashi 6ix9ine and Young Thug had also faced the same issues as all other artists, with their songs being used in trial for RICO charges.
50, we got some motherfuckers. I'ma fight 50 ass, you hear me? Motherfucker put me on a song and then say, I am not gang. I am not gang bang, right? I never knew what the fuck he talking about. That's why the said that. He knew a motherfucker RICO was coming. That nigga got the word. That knew, man, and it's good that you announced that, because the only way not to be in a conspiracy or RICO is to publicly de-announce yourself. Y'all hear that? Publicly say, I am not in a gang. G-Unit is not going to be considered a gang. Anybody around him, he's not going to be a part of it. We don't know that, but the law says in order to not be a part of something, you have to publicly announce that you're not a part of it. We don't know that shit, and this is where you understand who's battle tested or not. And I'm 38 years old. I ain't got time to see if you battle tested, Wallow.
In 2023, the Bill Rap Act was issued. This gave artists a way for them to express themselves without the wrongful use of their lyrics being used in criminal and civil court. Willie Prophet Stiggers, co-founder of the Black Music Coalition, stated, "Hip-hop as a form of art is being critically endangered by the criminal justice system. Rap should be protected as a part of an artist's First Amendment rights." Many artists have realized that keeping it too real may have put them in trouble with the law. Although freedom of speech is a part of their constitutional rights, admitting to a murder or gang affiliation can also be a thin line for trouble with the law.